It's time for this episode of the Interdimensional Show live at the Wandering Weasel Mermaid Theater to begin for today. I know I'm a good bit late. I just got out of the shower, as the title says. What did I put in the title? Just got out of the shower. Something. So let's find the mermaid. Let's find the mermaid. I think that's what I put. Anyway, today we're going to continue on with the mermaid mask. I also did some adjustments in the BIOS settings computers today, or yesterday. No, today. Mainly just because I wanted to see if it makes a difference. That being rebar, a resizable bar. Apparently, it's a thing you can. I don't know exactly what it is, but from what I've heard, at least when it comes to Linux, you only really need to do the above 4G decoding thing. That's what I have set on both computers. I turned out the resizable bar, and I can't really tell the difference so far. We'll see. It probably won't make a difference with this particular game. But either way, let's get to it. Let's get back to it. What was I doing? Oh, I think I was going to talk to her about the characters, suspects. Oh no, yes, about all. So this is a room that I don't need to be. We've already asked all them. I will go to him just as a precaution. I want to see if there's anything. Okay. Nope. Let's go back to these two. I'll move down. I think I'll move to go to these next. I want to clear out a lot of stuff first.
We already unlocked the cell phone.
Right, I didn't even do that. Let's go down here. I want to get as many people as I can. Cargo hold.
It's a big traveler's backpack. It smells like soil and grass.
When you're done smelling it, there's something in the pouch I think we should take a look at.
There's a good example of this game showing how both characters, both Sally and Grimoire, are goofballs. They're both smart, and they both have their moments of dumb. One doesn't overshadow the other. I like that. I don't like when they overshadow each other, especially when beforehand she wasn't even his partner in the Curse of the Swamp one called. Square parchment found in the cargo hold. It's been folded up and tied with string. Brenner's Manor, Fortuna Hall, the Stone Top Inn. Oh, it's like a map. Or rather, it is a map. Wow.
What's in these old wooden crates?
I don't know. I can't get them open.
What did I tell you? Always bring the crowbar.
Oh, I actually do have some German. But it's... Mr. Up my room. Yes, I am not great at getting... I am when it comes to the digital stuff. Like, all the overlay you see right now was designed by me. I will not deny there are some things that I need to change about it. But I have managed to get it so this game can be shown at right resolution. Like,
Inboard?
I assume it belongs to that woman over there.
that's a woman?
Right. We'd better talk to her first.
That's a woman? It's hard to tell.
What's in these old wooden crates?
I don't
What
know.
did I tell
Always bring.
I assumed it was tea, but actually it smells like coffee.
It's unfiltered too, and there's no milk.
Hardcore. It's a pizza oven.
No, it's a furnace.
For heating the submarine.
Right. But you could put a pizza in there.
Probably.
I can barely move these barrels. Oh, they must be full of something heavy.
Actually, I think they're empty.
Oh. Well, wood is heavy.
You're actually correct about that. It is. Also, she didn't just start pushing herself with these. That I actually wouldn't mind entirely. Well, maybe
It's
I
a
would.
tent.
I am not. I don't know how to.
It's a piece of fabric draped over a rope.
Yeah, a tent.
Hold on there, bucko. That's private, all right?
I enjoyed that she called you Bucko.
Really?
This is actually a pretty good place to hang laundry.
I did not. Right?
Assuming you want your clothes to smell like the cargo hold of a submarine.
It's on about.
That's a fire hazard. This whole room is a fire hazard.
A submarine can't burn down. It's underwater. I assumed it was tea, but actually it smells like coffee.
It's unfiltered too.
Hardcore.
It's a little mirror.
It could do with a polish.
You could do with the polish. It's a little mirror.
Whoever wrote these, I applaud
It
you.
could do with a polish.
You could do with the polish.
Like they just, they're always, yeah.
Is that soil?
I thought it was coal. You know, for the furnace.
Oh.
Done talking to him.
Weary travelers. Take a seat by the fire, shake out your boots.
We're not weary travelers.
Then why do you both look so haggard and trail-worn?
Ouch. There goes my self-esteem for the rest of the day.
We're detectives. I'm Grimoire, and this is Sally. We're here investigating the murder of Magnus Mortuga, your previous captain.
My captain? Never. My captain is the moonlight as it shimmers across the lake. My captain is the wind as it whispers through the valley.
Who is this woman?
No idea. I kind of like her though.
My name is Moon. Mariana Moon.
Oh,
Aha. And what do you do?
I do not do. I simply am.
oh.
So, what, you're just some random traveler?
A traveler, yes, but random, never. I'm here because I chose to be. I've been searching for the Mortuga submarine for some time, you know.
How come?
How come? This thing is the motherlode
The motherlode of what?
of whispered half-truth, of murky rumor, of stories unspoken.
Oh, like urban myths and stuff?
Right. Urban myths and stuff.
So you're a historian.
Historian, storyteller, rambler, ambler, fireside gambler.
How long have you been here?
Well, let's see. I arrived a few hours before the captain was murdered.
Oh, dang. Really?
Quite the story, isn't it?
But you're just on the submarine because you find it interesting.
Would that be such a crime?
No. Murder's a crime, though, pretty sure.
It is. Also, this is another example of 5 fingers versus 4 fingers thing. If I could talk with the developers, I want to know if they had ever mentioned it. Why? Because it was the same, I think, in... I think it's the same... the first ever game, the one that was on, what do you call it? Newgrounds. That, they all had 5 fingers. But in this one, or in its sequels, or its remake, or the reboot, I don't know what you call it. Like the Curse of the Swamp. I think most characters actually have 4 in that one, but in this game in Tangle Tower, they go back and forth between 5.
A merciless wind rattles the rotting wood of the old silkworm harbour. The shadow of a vessel lurking low in the night-black water. A mysterious stranger steps onto her foredeck. Cloaked in darkness, she slips inside the submarine. Who is she? What is her dark purpose?
It's you. We get it.
A mysterious stranger, I said. She descends into an ornate parlour, empty, save for a lone figure standing by the fire.
So, not empty.
He turns, his face still half hidden in flickering shadow. It is Captain Magnus Mortuga.
What was he like?
Nice guy. Stoic, but polite. Kind. He tells me to wait in the control room and then disappears off towards the back of the ship. After a little while, he comes back. But now, he's a slightly different man.
What do you mean?
The light is gone from his eyes. He seems sad, angry. He avoids my gaze as he crosses the room to take hold of the wheel. He tells me to head down the ladder towards the mess hall. Doing so, I encounter two gentlemen named Mr. Werman and Mr. Grip. Neither of them look like sailors, so I know they can't be crew. I assume they must be guests like me. And true enough, it transpires that Mr. Werman is a writer and Mr. Grip is, some kind of watch repairman. Captain Mortuga reappears, descending the ladder. He asks the two men to show me around the submarine and introduce me to the others. Then he disappears through the rear corridor. It's the last time I see him alive. Mr. Werman apologizes, explains he's too tired, and leaves through the opposite corridor. Mr. Grip, unable to come up with such an excuse, agrees to show me around. Now, I'd wrote this down in my diary, so I may as well let you read it.
Oh.
Imagine my excitement to finally get a good look around the Mortuga submarine. I was even given a tour by one of Mortuga's subordinates, a Mr. Godric Grip.
I like the name, Godric. Be cool.
We began by visiting a bizarre laboratory known as the Dream Chamber. It smelled of dried herbs and dusty glass, but was devoid of its dream custodian. An early disappointment, the captain's cabin was locked. Mr. Grip explained how Captain Mortuga mostly keeps this room locked when it's not in use. We climbed down into the living quarters, where a pair of bunk rooms sat at the end of a corridor. The first smelled of crane dust and unwatered flowers. A young woman was laying in her bed, poring over an old document. She hastily hid. The second bunk room smelled of. She hastily hid the document away and introduced herself as Miss Cynthia Seafoam, a name to remember, dear reader, as she will shortly become quite important. The second bunk room smelled of aftershave and desperation. The two men within, Mr. James Werman and Mr. Dirk Dansom, both appeared to be asleep, so we decided not to intrude.
Good.
Next on the tour, a room inhabited, by the looks of things, by a young child who is also a stage magician. Sadly, this mythical child magician is nowhere to be seen.
He probably was in the mirror.
The room at the very end of the hallway was sealed with a heavy bulkhead door. Mr. Grip dismissed it as a storeroom that only Captain Mortuga makes use of. Perhaps you'll agree, Mr. Grip took me down. Perhaps you'll agree with me, dear reader, when I suggest the peculiarity of a simple storeroom being sealed off with such a significant door. Mr. Grip took me down to the cargo hold. It smells of damp wood and tarred rope. Yes, I describe it in the present tense, for it is here I sit as I write this very diary.
Okay.
Next door, the engine room, burnished bronze and tea-stained parchment. I learned that it's something of a nest for Mr. Grip himself, and thus was currently unoccupied. Mr. Grip took me down to the cargo hold. It smells of damp wood and tarred rope. Yes, I describe it in the present tense, for it is here I sit as I write this very diary.
I need to find some others. I need to watch. See, once I beat this game, I might go and watch YouTubers play this. I want to see how people do. Not how people do, but I want to see.
Next door, the
Play.
engine room, burnished bronze and tea-stained parchment. I learned that it's something of a nest for Mr. Grip himself, and thus was currently unoccupied. Outside, I encountered a Dr. Zacharias Zephyr.
I
the
like the
aforementioned
name
keeper of
Zacharias.
the dream chamber.
And
Surprised
Zephyr.
to see us, he nearly dropped the empty glass bottle he was carrying. Clearly wishing to remove himself from the situation, the good doctor muttered something inaudible and disappeared up the ladder.
Buttons.
We continued on into
well.
the next room, which I was amused to discover was some kind of shimmering mermaid grotto. I smelled her before I saw her, the unmistakable mix of salt, seaweed, and sequined spandex. It can only be Madame Tadpole, a name which may be familiar to long-time readers of this diary.
That would only be you.
Tadpole and I caught up, while Mr. Grip skulked in the doorway, clearly hoping this would mark the end of the tour, but it did not, dear reader. It did not.
Right. So, yes, I can see there's one more room to visit. Mr. Grip insists it's just the bilge, a dark, dank, and smelly place, ill-frequented by humankind. I tell him he couldn't have sold it to me better if he'd tried.
Right? I do this.
We enter the bilge, but it's too dark to see anything. Mr. Grip, who is clearly tiring of my company by this point, opens the vent in the ceiling to let in a little light.
Okay, I'm gonna press BRB because I can open. No, I normally don't, but I'm gonna go ahead. That's a P. And if I drink water, and I do plan to drink.
Moments later, a voice is heard, echoing down from above.
Whose voice?
A young woman, and then an older woman. I can't remember exactly what was said, but I remember thinking it sounded a little like poetry.
What happened next?
The sound of a scream, and then a dull thud.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds like a murder.
But which murder?
Anyway, by this point, I've used up all my patience. So I decide to take my leave. I thank Mr. Grip for the tour and return to my new lodgings in the cargo hold. I have to put up my tent twice, as on the first attempt, a sudden movement of the submarine undoes my progress. After some time, Mr. Grip and the young Miss Seafoam appear in my doorway. It seems they've come to fetch me for some kind of official submarine business. We head back towards the mess hall, Mr. Grip and Miss Seafoam heading up the ladder before me. I spot Dr. Zephyr emerging from the airlock. He has a glass bottle in one hand and what looks like an old leather bag in the other. I update him with what little information I have and attempt to catch up with the others. Laying on the floor is the body of Captain Magnus Mortuga. Amongst the living, mutterings are breaking out. Murder and mutiny, cauldrons and curses. But with Zephyr finally in attendance, Tadpole calls for order, demanding justice for her slain captain. But nobody really seems to know what to say. The next morning, it's announced that Miss Seafoam has taken over as captain. And, well, here we are.
Interesting. I was going to mention, I didn't want to mention it during her talk, but God.
I saw Dirk wandering the halls this morning, like he was looking for something. I asked him what it was he'd lost, and he said he couldn't really describe it, but it looked a bit like a gun.
What?
So, something that looks like a gun, but isn't actually a gun.
I can't imagine what he was talking about.
Okay.
I didn't expect to find a fellow herbologist on board. Dr. Zephyr really knows his rosehip from his rosemary. He's a chemist, too. Impressive, don't you think?
I don't know. I get the sense his work is more alchemy than chemistry.
He does seem rather secretive about it. I tried asking him about his experiments, but he seemed awful reluctant to divulge any details.
Sounds familiar?
Worman, I know he once worked as a newspaper journalist. Oh, that's before he changed his name, of course.
Have you read his book, Hex of the Helmsman?
I leafed through it. I must say he's got some good research skills. I'd love to know what his sources were.
What do you mean?
The book is very clearly a loose retelling of the real-life story of one Magnus Mortuga.
Probably, I don't know about that.
Broad shoulders, long arms, good for reaching across a wheel. He had a hard face, but soft eyes. I'd wager he was once a very handsome man.
Do you know anything about his life before the submarine? Like, if he had a family?
I'd never heard mention of his parentage, no.
But he lived in Silkworm. Do you know where exactly?
The only record I found lists him as living at the Stonetop Inn and working on board the Stonetop family sailing ship.
As the captain?
As a deckhand, and eventually as the helmsman.
So how'd he end up as the captain of a submarine?
All I could dig up was a rumor that he bought the submarine from the shipyard.
Possible.
He bought it?
Or maybe he commissioned to have it built. Accounts vary on that.
Either way, how could Mortuga afford to buy a submarine?
My guess is that he didn't pay with money, but made some other kind of trade.
Okay, I need to stretch him. wonder what she has. Oh,
So, Mariana, where are you from?
No fixed address. That's the way it's been for some time.
Oh, I see.
But you came to Silkworm looking for the Mortuga submarine. How come?
I go wherever I please, which usually amounts to wherever has the most interesting rumors.
I don't want to be rude, but do you ever have to do work to get money?
From time to time. I've taken up work as a tour guide, a historian, a performing storyteller.
But how did you wind up getting onto the submarine? Isn't it a secret?
Well, if it's such a secret, how did you do it?
Well, I got a phone call from Cynthia Seafoam, and she told us to come to Silkworm.
And then the submarine came up to the harbor so we could get on.
Well, there we are. Perhaps that's how I did it, too. Symmetry was the only person I didn't see on my tour of the submarine. I realized later that she'd been with Mortuga at the time.
In the Illusion Theater?
You know what's funny? Nobody else calls it that. They all just call it the storeroom. I'm led to believe Illusion Theatre is a name Miss Silkmoth came up with herself. Rather like how she came up with the name Symmetry Silkmoth.
That's not her real name?
It's not her birth name, no.
isn't it? Go through all this.
I see you've been enjoying my map.
It's barely a map. It's closer to a list.
What about the family tree on the back?
Most of my research
Oh, I
into
didn't notice that.
Silkworm has been focused on these two family lines, the Fellows and the Stone Tops.
Seems like you haven't worked out how Mortuga fits into it. His name is just floating out there by itself.
I'm not sure if he does fit into it, to be honest.
Mariana, you've got a question mark there. Someone you don't know the name of.
Ah, yes. Quite the mystery, you see. I'd heard about...
We know her name. It's Freya. You're welcome.
Yes! Yes! An actual reference. Or them actually referencing the last game. I think they did it before. I'm not sure. I don't remember. I'm a bit blank. But I'm glad they referenced it.
Now, where did you find this?
Zephyr had it.
Did he now? Lillian's locket, silver snake, golden palm, mermaid... The mermaid's tongue.
You've heard of it?
Only the name, and only when people were telling me it doesn't exist.
Maybe it doesn't.
But there's a photo.
It's a photo of a drawing.
What's it supposed to do, anyway? The description in the book here is pretty vague.
And they say it allows humans to commune directly with God while they're still alive.
What? God?
In here it says...
Which one?
said to facilitate communication with she who lies beyond the veil.
She who lies beyond the veil, God, other dimensions, aliens, the afterlife. You know, it varies. But the sentiment is the same. Though it's a wretched thing, really. An echo of man's desperate, futile desire to wring answers from a silent universe.
I can see why people would say it doesn't exist.
But Zephyr's trying to get hold of it.
Well, he
Interesting.
may be. It depends.
On what?
The strength of his will.
Both of you are... Okay.
Mariana, I was wondering if you could tell us who's worn this.
How's she supposed to do that?
You know, by the smell.
Oh. Gross.
Very well. Let's see.
Oh, she's
I'm
actually going to
getting
do it.
wind-battered mahogany, ice-cold sea spray, and mostly melted candle wax.
Great, thanks.
If I'm not mistaken, this little part at the front is actually a microphone.
Oh.
I can't speak to what that is squirming around in the bottle there, but the liquid is salt water with a mix of herbs. I suppose Zephyr must have a pestle and mortar. I might ask to borrow it.
Which herbs?
Valerian, skullcap, and chamomile.
How do you know this? Smart lady.
A ZX5. Nice piece of kit. Polycarbonate shell, tactile interface, unusually good battery life.
You are smart.
It's a cell phone. Whose is it?
Dirk Dansom.
I suppose that makes the most sense. After all, Mortuga really didn't seem like the cell phone type.
I'm going to take a guess and say that you're much smarter than you're very scientific, more than others. You're not scientific, but you're not a country bumpkin. You know this stuff.
These diagrams, they're detailing the time and place to find the Mortuga submarine. Of course, it would be possible just to write it out in words, but this has been done with astronomy and lunar phases.
Why?
My guess is that it's intended to incite curiosity in the recipient. It's more effective than if they'd just written, "Come to this place at this time." It feels less like a trap this way.
Okay.
Mr. Werman's typewriter. It's got a good example of the fellow emblem there on the back, see? Sorry, Belisha Bonetop.
Yeah, that's what she's called in the book, too. Marcus Mordoom's captain/love interest.
Flying a little close to the sun with that name, aren't they?
I guess they are, yeah.
It carries something of the cadaver about it. Might be the smell, rust and stagnant seawater. Perhaps it came from the ocean. Have you asked Madame Tadpole about it?
I have yet to meet her.
This marks a pivotal moment in Silkworm's history, the day the silver snake was discovered. It also shows the two women who found it. Felicia Stonetop, that's her on the left, and Sylvia Seafoam on the right.
Hang on. We saw a statue about this in the town square, but on the statue, the serpent was shown being wrestled by a male fisherman.
Yes, well, that's history for you. It's a piece of an old sail, roughly cut into a square.
That's all you got to say.
Mariana, you visited Silkworm before, didn't you? Was Sim's magic show in the theater back then?
No, when I passed through, the theatre wasn't showing anything. This very poster was up on the walls, but they'd covered it with a banner that said cancelled.
So that must have been after Sim left, but before the theater had booked a new act. Do you recognize this, Mariana?
Should I?
Well, we just figured since there's a moon drawn on the label.
So because my name is Moon, all moon-related things must belong to me?
Even if it's not yours, do you have any idea what it is?
It's a herbal compound of some kind. Valerian, skullcap, chamomile, and seawater.
So, not poison.
Maybe it's medicine. Would those herbs do anything in particular?
I suppose it could be a sleep aid, like a mild sedative.
Interesting.
All right.
There's only one thing more mysterious than a locked box, and that's an unlocked box that's been emptied of its contents.
Did you ever come across the cauldron in your research?
No, it really does seem to be something Mortuga's been keeping to himself.
What do you make of those scratch marks?
I'm not sure. They don't really look like anything made by an animal.
That's a relief. Wait, is it?
Okay. Go.
Now we're getting to it. The reason all of us are here, really.
How so?
The Silver Snake, the Mortuga submarine.
That's Silver Snake?
Did you ever stop and wonder, why here? Why this particular part of the coast? It all stems from a single truth. There's something hiding in the water. Something big. Now, it wasn't my intent to cause you any lasting unease. Look, we three, we're merely tourists here, passers-by. Take my advice. Keep your distance from all this, so you can still walk away at the end. I believe
cannot keep
Mortuga
eyes
used
open.
its light to alert
why.
others to the location of the submarine, on the rare occasions when he wished to do such a thing, of course.
That's how it happened with us. Although I guess it was Cynthia, not Mortuga.
You know, for some time now, I've heard stories of sailors seeing a green light in the ocean at night.
Well, I guess you have your explanation.
The problem is, several of the stories predate the Mortuga submarine.
Trying to.
Pass it here, I'll show you something amusing. See this photograph on the inside cover?
It's a picture of Worman, isn't it?
If it is, it's a very flattering one.
It's not Worman at all. It's his rather more handsome father, Mayor Damien Dusk.
Get out. Really?
No word of a lie.
One more thing, and then I can move on.
I see
Start
Cynthia's proudly wielding the
rest of
seafoam
everyone else.
S in her signature there.
Why shouldn't she?
Of course, she's well within her rights to do so, but I do think perhaps it, sends a certain message.
What message would that be?
I claim this submarine in the name of the Seafoam family. Something like that, don't you think?
Pause again. I'm not a reload. I'll play. RB. Start the ad. That way we have. my pattern. Alright, for a moment. I think we're good on any her. So we can go on to back up. I want to get all the info I can. Them on everything.
Moon's your lead suspect, I presume.
No. Why would she be?
Well, the timeline. She shows up, and bang, Mortuga murdered.
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
I'm just saying, nobody even knows why she's here.
I'm not sure we know why you're here.
I already told you, didn't I? Genuinely, I can't remember.
Something added here.
Okay, let's see. The symbol on the top left, next to Governor's Manor, that's the fellow emblem. Oh, you knew that already?
Kinda, but keep going.
Oh, that's my father's emblem on the top right, the one next to Town Hall. D for Dusk. Mayor Dusk.
Your dad was the mayor and you grew up in the town hall? Must have been nice.
Yeah, sure.
Hang on. Your dad is listed on the back here, on the family tree. And there's a line between him and Felicia Stonetop, see?
It's a stretch to call this a family tree. More like a tree of speculative conjecture.
Right, okay, so that's everything about. I can talk to. Now let's do it. Dirk.
Mariana? Ha, man, she's really living out the escapist fantasy. I gotta say, I'm impressed.
That's if you believe what she says. I think she might be making some of it up.
Hey, you know, it's funny you say that. I did notice something the other day.
Oh?
Well, she's supposed to be all, like, old-timey and stuff, right? But she was really curious about my cell phone.
Curious how?
Well, she was asking what make it was, what model number, you know, like really specific stuff.
Huh.
It's a map of Silkworm? I don't know much about the town. You'd be better off asking someone else.
Just wanted to have everything. Doing that kind of stuff really helps me know stuff. Talk with her.
Still estranged, this moon and I, but she and me befind ourselves in newfound kinship joined.
What kind of kinship would that be?
The kinship of wearing a big yellow locket around your neck. We may need to workshop the name.
Mariana's moon necklace? That's a locket?
Must be. I've seen her open it up and peer concernedly at its internals.
Huh.
Mariana Moon, number 9. The half-hidden moon.
Reclusiveness?
Are you ever gonna say what the damn thing is?
Against all
Kinda-
odds, I've been
kinda tiny bit a
inscribed
moment,
upon
that's
this
why
family tree, bound only by the bloodline of my matron's former kin.
Your matron? That's Fortuna Fellow.
No longer tied to fellow name, she styles herself as Baroness, whatever that's supposed to mean.
Sim, look, you've got 2 half-brothers. Kinda.
Only in the faintest terms, but there they are, Flint and Felix.
We've actually met Felix. Would you believe that?
No?
Oh, well, we did.
They're related. Okay, I know. Okay, so, the Symmetry Silk Moth. Her real last name would be Fellow. I think we've gotten everything. Let's go to. We're gonna clear these areas up. Then we'll go and do the same thing. And then I'll. Okay.
It is hypothesized that Miss Moon was embroiled in some form of deal with Magnus Mortuga.
What kind of deal?
What would she give him? Money?
His heart beat not for money and things.
What did it beat for?
People. Kinship.
So, Mariana gave him a person.
Maybe information about a person, or how to find a person.
Interesting.
Somebody's been trying to piece together Silkworm's history by the looks of it.
We noticed Mortuga's on there, but his name's not connected to anyone else.
Did he ever talk about his family? Or where he came from?
He never spoke of his heritage, no.
Now I can't. Everyone, I've talked to everyone. I'm gonna finish up these areas, collect what I can there. If someone's there, then I will talk to them and do the same thing. Then once I get those done, I will again go back through them, through all of the characters, and we'll talk about everything. Okay, so someone's here. Oh, it's Grip.
Hello? Is anyone there?
I think there's someone in that basket.
A selection of some of my more unusual compasses. Please peruse at your leisure.
Oh. Okay, so drive the compass into. Compass tries to point all away from all the others. Not that. Compass doesn't want to solve this. This tries the point. The others. This cup is. Because one of these is actually a clock.
Nope.
So there's 4 slots, and each one needs a compass to go in it.
Yeah.
The labels are all describing a particular compass, I guess.
Okay, so that. Okay, so this compass tries to point the others. Does that mean it closer?
I guess that's wrong.
I think we'd get more information about how each compass worked if we moved them around. And pay attention to the needles while you're doing it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna give a little click.
Nothing.
It's really all about the behavior of the
At least one of them doesn't seem to be. Nothing.
It's really all about the behavior of the needles.
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass at all.
Who doesn't want to solve the problem? That's the clock right there.
Nothing.
It's really all
At
about...
least one of them doesn't seem to be.
I'm not looking this up, obviously. So, the compass that tries to point away from all the others. So if I were to put it here, Doesn't want to be near it. Same here. There, same there, and there. This is the right. I think this is the one. This one is the compass that tries to point. Okay. That's right. This is the...
Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass.
Okay. Why not? This is not right. This compass doesn't want to solve this puzzle right now. What does that mean? Okay, the thing is, this does not move direction. I know.
Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass.
Am I doing something wrong? This compass tries to point away from all the others. That's doing.
Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass at all.
And so that
Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass.
compass tries to. I don't know. Blue. Don't I have to wait? I don't know. This is the only one that I could think of might just what the clock.
Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At
all-
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass at all. Nothing.
It's really all about the behavior of the needles relative to the position of the compasses.
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass at all.
Okay, so there's a way to tell. I want to remove.
Nothing.
It's really all
At
about.
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a Nothing.
It's really all
At
about.
least one of them doesn't seem
Might
to
be
be
the
a
first one
compass.
I do. I look up something. One. I didn't want to do this, but I don't know. Game's only been out for a little. Might not exist. This one does change.
Let's try again later.
A selection of some of my peruse.
This is the old. This.
Nope.
So there's 4 slots. The labels are all describing a particular compass, I guess.
I guess that's wrong.
I think we'd get more information about how each compass worked if we moved them around. And pay attention to the needles while you're doing it.
I have been doing. That's the thing. This one. One moves around. Compass tries to point out all the others. Okay. I'm confused. So the compass that tries to point away from all the others. Not that one. It's that one. No. Hello, British Short Sword Gamer. Welcome back to the Interdimensional Show live with Wonder Reasons Ermin Theater. How you doing today, my friend? I'm currently trying to solve this puzzle. I honestly am trying not to look up stuff. This game is really new, so I probably wouldn't be able to find anything. But I'm trying to see here, which one.
Nothing.
It's really all about the behavior.
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass.
Oh dang.
Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's
At
really-
least one of them doesn't
This
seem
one
to be
is confused. This one's a little confusing. I don't know if this right here is literally just Ah dang. I fell asleep during stream. That's not.
Nothing.
It's really all about the behavior of the needles relative to the position of the compasses.
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass at all.
That one points in the direction of
Nothing.
It's really all
At
about
least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them doesn't seem to be a compass. Nothing.
It's really
At least one of them
I
doesn't
might not be able to do this one just yet. This might be the only first puzzle so far that I had to stop for the
Let's
moment.
try again later.
It sucks, but whatever.
Who are these guys?
Just some of my satisfied customers.
It's a big compass.
A broken compass that is in process of being fixed.
If I turn this wheel, you have to turn the other one.
why?
Because one good turn deserves another.
Sail on now.
Sail on now.
Can I buy something with my wages?
We don't get paid until we solve the mystery.
What if we don't solve it? Do I still get paid? Grimoire?
Ay ay ay. Okay. What is
A
that?
selection of some of my more. Please!
No, I'm not ready to. Yet.
What on earth are you doing?
Ah, customers! Come in, and welcome to Mr. Grip's Emporium.
Wait, what?
I guess he's Mr. Grip.
What's that? You'd like a succinct yet exhaustive rundown of our operational philosophy?
I didn't say that,
I
but
said that.
Here at
sure,
Mr.
why not?
Grips, we plot the unplottable, chart the unchartable, and measure the unmeasurable. No sea too vast, no night too dark, no fog too thick. With the right contraption in your pocket, even the great unknown may be quantified and calculated.
Okay.
So
then.
fret not, noble navigator. as
I
we
love
stock
the animation
all the
just so
essentials.
much. So even if I do not complete all the right away, like I would want to sometimes, I'm glad I do this anyway. What the hell? I don't have any money, so I can't buy.
I'm sorry, you can't afford this item.
I don't want it.
I'm afraid you don't have enough money.
I know. I'm not trying to buy anything.
Apologies, you can't afford that one.
Ugh.
Mr. Grip, we're not customers. We're detectives. We need to talk to you.
Why'd your voice
Why
get so
didn't you
deep?
say so? Now, what is it you wanted to know?
Yeah, in game, I am. In real life, I actually have money, but I'm not going to say how much it is right now. Or at all.
Can I get your full name?
Godric Grip of Mr. Grip's Emporium.
And that's this little shop you run down here in the engine room for some reason.
This is merely the newest branch. The flagship site is back in Circuum on Sea.
Yeah, we saw it. It's all boarded up.
Yes, well, I can't make a living selling compasses to the ghosts in a ghost town, can I?
So that's what you do? Sell compasses? Seems kind of niche.
We buy, sell, and service all manner of nautical navigation equipment. What's that? Ah, yes, we also provide cartographic consultation.
Given that there's cell phones in this game, I can't tell what time period this takes place in anymore. But it's got yeah, old-fashioned, but there's also people who have phones, a powerful phone. It's confusing. This game, they just like to do whatever.
We'll analyze and decipher any map, all for a low fee. Some maps may be invalid. Fee to be decided on a case-by-case basis.
Sorry, did you just talk to your stick?
You mean Cornelius Kane?
And he's given it a name. Great.
Don't ask any follow-up questions. Maybe he'll let us move on.
Okay,
How'd you wind up here?
I crashed my hot air balloon into the ocean. Whole thing came down. Dreadful. And of course, I've never been a swimmer. I don't have the upper body strength.
How'd you crash your balloon?
A rather spirited disagreement with a flock of migratory pelicans led to an abrupt...
I'm actually one who checks stuff like the fridge and freezer multiple times to make sure I don't forget. So I get stuff out of the freezer a lot outside in our garage. I either have my regular pizzas that I get on Fridays, or I get my flatbread pizzas out of there. I'm probably gonna make one tomorrow. I am a high-functioning autistic person. I don't have ADHD, but I have OCD. But I am autistic.
Sure, okay. And the actual reason?
Storm.
There we go.
Wait, so you're an aeronaut? I thought you were a shopkeeper.
Yes, well, you're quite right, of course. But I've been inspired to leave my shop
Wow.
behind and head out on a journey of discovery
I only got
into
one
the great
diagnosis,
unknown.
at least in regards to the
That was the
autism.
plan, at least. As you can see, I didn't make it very far at all.
So there's a storm, the balloon crashes, you fall into the ocean, then what?
Enter Captain Mortuga. He finds me adrift, fishes me out of the water, and promptly places me here.
In the engine room? Was every other room taken?
On the contrary, only Mortuga and Zephyr were living here when I arrived, so I rather had the run of the place. Cornelius and I just agreed this would be the best place to set up shop, as it were.
Why did you set up your shop again? You just said you'd been inspired to leave it behind.
I had to make myself useful somehow, didn't I?
Speaking of, I need to check to see what mine said. Mine's on.
I noticed Dirk seems to be trying to tell Werman what to write in his book.
Is he just trying to make sure Worman gets it done? Or is he trying to get him to write it in a certain way?
Samsung Galaxy
A little of both, I'd
S22
wager.
Ultra.
Maybe he's in league with Werman's publisher.
Dirk? That can't be right. If I recall correctly, he told me he worked for something called, oh yes, thank you, Cornelius. Wit and Whimsy, that was it. But I'm not sure what
It's a movie production company. It's owned by Vincent Van de Peer. He's a director and producer.
Well, someone's well informed.
Vincent once went location scouting in the swamp where I worked as a gift shop sales clerk.
Yeah! She's making a reference to the first game we see her in. I'm glad they're doing that. I'm glad they are doing that. I'm hoping we get to see some reference to that little girl from that game, but I don't know. I am actually looking into getting a Pixel simply because I'm going to convert it from an Android phone over to a Graphene OS phone. At least that's the idea. I don't know all that you could do on it just yet, so I gotta really do some research because I want to get away from anything that has control over me like that. I already moved to Linux on my PCs. Both of my PCs, the one I'm playing on the games, and the one that's streaming me right now. Both of them run Fedora Linux. One day they might run something else, but Fedora is what they run right now.
Ah, of course.
Going through here, I have. So after this, oh my bad. So after we after all this, and then the clues, we only have 2 more people to look for: Tadpole and Captain Seafoam.
What'd you make of old Dr. Zephyr?
Hmm.
Not a fan?
There's been some speculation that his experiments may be dangerous or even harmful. Although it's hard to be sure, since he seems so reluctant to admit what they actually are.
You don't even know? I would have thought, since you've both been here for a while.
Yes and no. At this point, you could play Linux in the majority of games. The only time that I could really think of you not being able to play it is when it's a game with an anti-cheat. a kernel level anti-cheat. And even then, there are ways around it. For VR chat, for example, it has easy anti-cheat, and you actually can play it in you can play VR chat on Linux. I've done it multiple times before. I do know that I do know that with Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, you cannot do online battles because of the anti-cheat. But you can do single player, which is what I primarily do.
Well, yes, Zacharias was one of the only 2 souls aboard the submarine when I arrived, but he never made me feel especially welcome, and he certainly wasn't keen on me poking around his dream chamber. In fact, he always seemed somewhat wary of me, like my arrival was going to scupper his plans in some way.
I guess Zephyr and Mortuga weren't expecting anyone else to show up.
Next is JD Werman.
I never got the details out of either of them, so I can't confirm this. But I believe Werman was invited onto the submarine by Mortuga himself.
Really? Why?
It's very strange. I can't for the life of me imagine why Mortuga would bring a journalist on board.
What VR headset I already got full body tracking myself. I started with something called Haratora X. It wasn't very comfortable. It was my version, the one I got, the version 1.1b, I believe. It was everything was plugged in together, and you had to plug it in together. I believe the most recent Haratora X does actually work as separate pieces, but the original didn't. Right now, I'm using what's called Slime VR. Obviously, not right now, but when I do VR chat, I use something called Slime VR. It works on Linux, which is one of the reasons why I did it. And it's all separate pieces. So far, I have really enjoyed using it. I actually have quite enjoyed using it. You don't have to, it depends on the version you get. I got the one that lets you, I got the ones that are, I think 8+2 trackers. I got the version 2, or the version 1.2s, and, it was, okay, so the two, before they made the version 1.2s, they had the ones before it, which had 7. If you do the full body tracking, it does 7 trackers plus 3 extensions. But if you go for the version 1.2s, it's 8+2, so 8 trackers, 2 extensions. So for me, I have one on my left shoulder, upper shoulder, left upper shoulder, right upper shoulder, thigh, waist, chest, and also my ankles, and then also the feet, which are extensions connected directly to ankle trackers. So technically one part is connected, but everything else is separate. And I have actually had a good time with them. They're far more comfortable than that. I do avoid using them super often because no matter which version I use, I don't like to do VR chat super often. I always stick to other games. Right now, since it's just been really hot and our AC, at least downstairs, is down again. We've been having a lot of trouble with this damn thing. Upstairs it's fine, but air rises, so it will get hot in my room too. So I'm kind of scared to even get back into VR chat. I also had another reason a few weeks ago where I had to make sure to be able to come down without trouble because one of my mom's dogs was here and I had to take care of him. I use a Quest 2 and something called and a program called Wyvern. Linux has multiple ways you can do PC streaming. You could do it through the cable, but for programs you need stuff like Wyvern, ALVR, Steam Link VR does work, but I've never got it to work so far. So, but I have used ALVR in the past. I used to use Virtual Desktop back when I was on Windows. Right now, I primarily use Wyvern. There are some games that I can't play through it, and since ALVR for some reason does not want to work for me, there are games that I can't play. One example being The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Even though I absolutely love that game, I cannot play it. I actually do. Virtual Desktop can use Steam VR. You will activate Steam VR if it's a certain game. For me, I use Wyvern and it does not require Steam VR. It doesn't activate Steam VR. That's one of the reasons why I like it, because Steam VR is a very messy thing. I have considered turning it on for just a moment and then trying out Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Maybe that'll work, but for the most part, I just don't play games that I can't play. So for me, when I stream VR, I only really stream VR chat. I have streamed other VR games in the past, like Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, back on the Windows. But when I started Linux, I did stream games like Ruins Magus and Sushi Bin for a bit. Right now, I'm kind of keeping them to the side as games that I play on my own, because for the most part, well, like this game, they're very dialogue heavy, and I don't really think you can pause like you can here. I actually need to do that too, because my faceplate is. I think I need to as well. Also, I was considering getting a Quest 3 at one point, but I'm honestly, since I figured out the problem that I was having with my Quest 2 and Wyvern, it was actually a software issue on Wyvern that was causing the problem, and also a problem with the specific channel I was using for the Wi-Fi. I have two routers. Well, three. Two of them are access points. One of them is connected directly to the mesh system I have around the house. You mean the Quest 3S or the Quest 3? I think you just said Quest 3 twice.
Werman's an author, not a journalist.
Ah, well, he used to be a journalist. He wrote for the local newspaper. And I will say he doesn't seem to have lost the instinct to always be on the lookout for a story.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. No, you're fine. I'm just don't worry. I'm not mad. Obviously not mad. It was pretty expensive to get. Well, I actually got these two routers on sale. I've been going through trying to get things working better recently, especially since to be able to do things downstairs a bit more, because I had the main Wi-Fi up here. I have two. Yeah, the Quest 3 is the slightly. I think it's mostly the same except for a different lens I could be wrong. There could be more. But for the most part, I'm still sticking with my Quest 2. I just have to make sure to go on my phone, connect to the Wi-Fi that I am going to be used for my headset. Because the second router that I have, which is also an access point, that one is only used for my VR. I also have it directly connected to my gaming desktop as well, while the streaming desktop is connected to the main Wi-Fi, the main Ethernet. I forgot you're in the area that has that. I don't think I can get a Pico. I don't think you can buy those in US. But one of the things I had to pay attention to when I use the Wi-Fi, I had to make sure that the Wi-Fi I use for my headset is the 5G version. Also, I had to make sure to go into the settings of the router and choose a channel that is not massively filled, or whatever you call it. I gotta make sure it's good before I jump into the game. Outside of that, the only other problem I've had with when it comes to playing VR games is that it's a headset issue this time. It's that whenever I take off my headset for a moment, it will, you know how it will notice that you're not wearing it and will kind of go black for a minute. When I put it back on after that fact, it always starts bugging out the game in a way that I think I probably whenever I do that, I thought I did. I don't know if I did. I don't know where the setting is. I want to know for sure. I think I did, but it doesn't really keep it still does it. It's very confusing. These headsets are I hate meta. I absolutely despise meta. I miss the days when it was just Oculus. My first VR headset was the Oculus Rift S before Facebook took over. And that was a good headset for the time. The only problems I had with that were the controllers. I had to go through 2 pairs of controllers because I had a bunch of drift. I haven't had drift in a while with my Quest 2. Well, my Quest 2 controllers, I did have some drift, but I do use Quest Pro controllers for them. The next headset that I want to get is the Steam frame. We don't know the prices yet. I'm really hoping we learn soon because I want to start saving up for it. For multiple things. One, I like the idea of being able to play any game I want on it. Let's say the Super Bowl happens. The Super Bowl happens about every February where I am, and I don't really do much then. I'm not really a sports guy, but I do go down and hang out with my family during those. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm getting at. I get the feeling too. We'll see. But one of the things I want to use it for, since I would be able to download the games there, is excuse me, sorry. Essentially, I will obviously use it for PC VR majority of the time, especially since I stream and whatnot. But on events where I have to be downstairs with family or something, I might bring it down there with me and put it on to just play whatever game I want to play. Dragon Ball Xenoverse might be a good example because that's one of those games I prefer controller for. I don't play a lot of the games I play on PC. I prefer mouse and keyboard. This one's a simple game when it comes to controls. It's just a click and stuff game, so you don't really need to do anything in regards to move anything else on the keyboard. But if let's say first-person shooter or hack and slash like Skyrim or BioShock or even a third-person game where like The Sinking City, those are for mouse and keyboard. It's not most games for me. It depends on the age of the game and how the gameplay is. Dragon Ball Xenoverse is a good example of one of those games that I prefer mouse and keyboard, prefer controller. It kind of goes along the line of it being similar to a previous Dragon Ball game that I absolutely adored, called Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi. I love the hell out of those games. I haven't played Sparking Zero, which is supposed to be the most recent version, but yeah. I would say the only difference in the combat in Xenoverse is that you could actually fly around faster to get to the person. The area is much bigger. You're not just one place. Games like Dot Hatch U, that's one of those games that I absolutely prefer controller. It was originally on the PS2 for me, and also I got on the PS4. I always stuck with a controller for that, but combat just felt better with that, being able to move my character and stuff. I got a Game Sir controller, which it works well with it all. But I would say any game that feels better moving around with a mouse is probably going to be the one that I stick with on mouse and keyboard.
He lived and worked in the inn opposite my emporium. I'd see him when I offered my custom at the inn, and in return, he'd come by my shop. As a sailor, Mortuga shared in my interest of nautical navigation. He even hired me for a job once.
Did he tell you he was planning to go live on a submarine?
I don't think he told anybody. After his disappearance, all I had was several largely unsatisfactory
Un
rumors.
momento.
They said he disappeared into the sea.
Irby.
Whatever that was supposed to mean.
Sorry, my mom. Say hi. They were here. One of them comes for cleaning, helping the house, and the other two brought dinner. I didn't get any, not because they didn't think of me. They would have gotten me something if I told them. But I don't really like I don't like lobster, and I just couldn't think of anything. Also, I didn't want to wait and eat before stream again. I don't like eating before stream most of the time. I have like a little snacks during stream, but for most part, I don't like to eat big meals. I do eat big meals before stream, but then I do something else. Then I start after.
The first time
I'm
I
not
laid
gonna go
eyes on
detail
his
about it.
eponymous submarine was when it rescued me from my fallen balloon. I can't tell you how surprised I was to see Magnus Mortuga step out into the foredeck, although he wasn't quite the same man I'd known before.
How do you mean?
The light in his eyes was dulled, like he wasn't really there.
And what had happened to him?
Well, I'd never found out, but you know, perhaps the rumors were true after all. Perhaps he had disappeared into the sea. Before this thrilling little jaunt on the Mortuga submarine, I'd lived in Silkworm all my life. I worked for my father and eventually inherited his business. Gorman Grip's nautical and aeronautical precision measurement and navigation instruments.
Snappy title.
I eventually trimmed the name down to just Mr. Grip's Emporium. That was around the same time I hired young Cornelius here as a much-needed second pair of hands.
He's a stick. He does not have hands.
Yes, running that business was my whole life for many years. Slow, sometimes tedious work, but I was extremely good at it. I especially relished in the task of deciphering and restoring old maps. The more decrepit they were, the more I enjoyed it.
And now you live in the engine room of a submarine. Must be a big change.
Yes and no.
Now we go Mariana Moon.
There was something I noticed while giving Mariana a tour of the submarine. Soon after we entered the bilge, she whipped out her tobacco pipe with a strange kind of urgency.
Did she smoke it?
Well, she put it in her mouth, but she didn't light it. What's that, Cornelius? You've never seen her light it? Well, now you mention it.
Yeah, probably not a good idea to smoke inside a submarine anyway.
Yes, and Mariana seems like such a stickler for health and safety regulations. I will say, in the last day or so, Symmetry does seem particularly somber.
Because of Mortuga's death?
What does that mean?
Yes, the problem seems to be that she
maybe
considers
that.
herself a kind of catalyst.
Does she? Why?
Well, I believe she'd been working on some new project, and shortly before Mortuga died, Symmetry shared this project with him.
And
then he dies. It's probably just bad timing.
What kind of project was it?
I really have no idea. What's that? Oh, yes. Cornelius tells me he saw Symmetry drawing something while in the mess hall. A poster, apparently?
Now I can go through all the clues.
what's with all the needles and cogs and stuff?
It looks like Grip's halfway through fixing it. That's what I figured anyway.
Thank heavens. That's what I was hoping for.
Sorry, what?
Perhaps I should explain. You see, Miss Seafoam came to me with a compass she needed fixing. I went to put the needle back on, but Cynthia stopped me. No, she said. The whole thing is broken. You'll have to take a look at the insides. You'll have to replace the needle. For some reason, she seemed to need it to be true.
She needed the compass to be broken.
I told her I had various spare needles I could try out as replacements, and here we are.
And you left it out so Cynthia would see it? So she'd think you were actually fixing it?
That's the idea, yes. So if you kindly put it back where you found it.
Okay.
Remarkable. There we are. Cornelius, look. I told you all our hard work would put us on the map someday.
How come your logo is a hot air balloon? I thought you sold stuff for boats.
Officially, we deal in the nautical and aeronautical. But in truth, the balloon motif was mostly just for fun. I'm not sure there were ever any aeronauts in Silkworm.
Okay.
Good heavens.
Something catch your eye?
Rumored to be lost at sea requires a special key. Is that right?
the mermaid's tongue? Do you know anything about it?
No, can't say I do. Based on this, I wonder if it may not even be real. After all, there isn't even a photograph. That's just a drawing.
Do you know if Zephyr made this himself?
He must have done. He didn't have it when I first got here. In fact, I'm pretty sure he measured Mortuga's head to get the shape right.
Why him? Why Mortuga himself?
A crystal ball. Oh, how quaint. What's that? What's it for? Oh, you know, the usual. Whispering questions into the great unseen beyond, hoping without hope to get a response.
I don't know how I started bleeding, but I'm...
Some kind of pattern. It almost looks pictorial.
Does it mean something?
It might do. I imagine poor old Zephyr's been trying his best to figure it out. I don't really deal in anything post-industrial revolution. Try Cynthia.
Oh?
Teenage girl, cell phone, just seems like a natural fit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
In the back of this letter are codes detailing how and when and where to find the Mortuga submarine. This Ibis person claiming to have information on Mortuga.
You know who that is?
No, Mortuga never mentioned anyone by that name. Not to me, anyway. Werman's still attempting to wrestle his grand opus into existence, is he? I rather thought he'd be done by now.
It's seconds. wait, hold on.
Werman's still attempting to wrestle his grand opus into existence, is he? I rather thought he'd be done by now.
He doesn't want to be a one-hit wonder.
That's the captain, is it? And her accessories are a compass and a map.
So?
So they made her the navigator and the captain. Typical navigator erasure.
Okay.
Where on earth did you find this?
It was just
Or
lying
now
around. Do you know
us.
what it is?
What I do know is that it belonged to Mortuga.
But you don't know what it was actually for.
I couldn't say with any academic certainty.
Okay. BRB, I will be back in 3 minutes. Okay, technically 3 minutes and 21 seconds. turn. So I'm gonna finish all this. I'm gonna go see if there's any other character. I'm gonna go into other rooms, gather more stuff. I probably won't talk to anyone else for the moment. I'm probably gonna end the stream in about 12 minutes. See what I do. I might talk a little more. Other characters, I might not. We'll see.
Godric grips nautical and aeronautical precision measurement and navigation instruments. Great name.
As well, this was shortly before the rebrand.
Why'd you decide to rebrand the shop?
You see, the news about the silkworm serpent put the town in a particular sort of mood. Interest in all things nautical adventure was on the rise, you know. They put up that statue, we get tourists even.
So you capitalized on the zeitgeist.
Look at you, using the vocabulary. This is from a ship's sail.
I think so.
Did you sell sails in your shop?
No, ship parts like that fell within the remit of the Drummond shipyard, a few doors down. Cornelius tells me he spotted Miss Silkmoth drawing this while she was in the mess hall.
What's it a drawing of, exactly?
Let's have a look, shall we? That symmetry, I assume. And she's sitting on the cauldron, facing a window.
We think Mortuga might have dropped this when he was killed.
You can think that all you like. Personally, I think it came from somewhere else.
If it wasn't dropped by Mortuga, perhaps it was dropped by the culprit?
Might have been neither.
You're suggesting this bottle made its own way into the crime scene?
Maybe.
So what's the deal with this cauldron?
I've no idea.
Really? I figured you've been here a while. Surely Mortuga would have mentioned it?
He never did. Seems like he was keeping it secret.
From who?
From everyone.
Why would it need to be a secret?
Maybe he just wanted it all for himself. Yeah, whatever was in there, I mean.
It wasn't really Mortuga's modus operandi to be selfish like that. Quite honestly, it's more likely to be the exact opposite.
What, so keeping it secret was him being selfless, somehow?
Like if it was dangerous. He kept it hidden as a way of keeping you all safe.
So
Right.
what's the deal with this cauldron?
I've no idea.
Really? I figured you've been here a while. Surely Mortuga would have mentioned it?
He never did. Seems like he was keeping it secret.
From who?
From everyone.
Why would it need to be a secret?
Maybe he just wanted it all for himself. Yeah, whatever was in there, I mean.
It wasn't really Mortuga's modus operandi to be selfish like that. Quite honestly, it's more likely to be the exact opposite.
What, so keeping it secret was him being selfless, somehow?
Like if it was dangerous. He kept it hidden as a way of keeping you all safe.
More things, and then I'll go check right.
Yes, can't really miss it, can you?
It's creeping me out, but I really want to know what it is.
I wouldn't lose sleep over it if I were you. Wonderful, isn't it? Cornelius thinks it might be his great-grandmother. For all I know, he may be right.
It belonged to Mortuga, I assume?
Yes, and to me it sits right alongside that iron bell in his office and that stone cauldron in the storeroom. Together they form Mortuga's collection of inexplicably cursed-looking nautical artifacts.
Maybe they do form a set.
Let's see here. Nope. Doesn't say it anywhere. No based on, no inspired by.
Inspired by what?
True events. Then again, I suppose it is largely imaginary and mostly guesswork. I'd imagine that gets him off the hook.
Okay, let's.
No
Poor thing.
bladed weapon of any kind was found in the room. Yes, I noticed that too.
The missing murder weapon. Classic.
Any idea where it might be or what?
Not yet.
Yeah, that would be good to know at one point. Oh, I didn't even ask him that.
Let's see.
My bad.
I'd taken Cornelius up to the mess hall. Poor fellow needed a little repair work, you see.
Were you alone up there? Aside from Cornelius, I mean.
No, Werman was there, working away on his typewriter. Then, all of a sudden, somebody new came down the ladder. A woman by the name of Mariana Moon. Werman and I conversed with her for a few minutes before Mortuga himself entered the room. He passed through towards the child's room and the storeroom, but before he left, he asked us to provide Mariana with a tour of the submarine. Werman feigned a sudden fatigue and slithered off back to his room, leaving me as the solitary tour guide.
You do kinda look like a tour guide, to be honest.
Yes, well, I won't bore you with a blow-by-blow. I'm sure Mariana will cover that in her statement. Suffice it to say, we ended up in the bilge at the very back of the submarine. And there we were, standing in the dark, when all of a sudden, a voice echoed down from above.
Mortuga's voice?
No, a young woman's, possibly two different women. The voices were followed by the sound of a blade, and finally a dull thud, like something hitting the ground.
Sounds like a murder to me.
What did Mariana make of all this?
Well, apparently satisfied
I
by
like
our
Dream Files. I wonder what they used
impromptu
it.
eavesdropping session, she made her farewells and left.
You didn't go with her?
No, I stayed a little longer.
Did you hear any other weird noises?
I did. First, the sound of the storeroom door wrenching open and then closing again. Secondly, some kind of short, heavy scrape, mechanical. And finally, a dull thud, like something hitting the ground.
Sorry, again?
How many murders were there?
I didn't really know what to do with myself after that, but an unexpected lurch of the submarine caused me to very nearly topple over into the bilge water. So I decided to take my leave and return to the safety of my engine room.
You didn't want to go upstairs and see what was going on?
I certainly thought about it. Ultimately, I think it came down to cowardice on my part.
You didn't want to run into the murderer.
So,
That's not. I wouldn't say that's
see, I was
cowardice.
sat there, feeling rather pathetic, when Cynthia appeared in my doorway.
What did she want?
Well, she had a compass she wanted me to fix. I agreed to take a look at it for her, but that wasn't the end of it. She then told me she'd been asked to bring me upstairs along with everyone else. And so, after fetching Mariana from next door, the three of us went up to the storeroom. I saw Mortuga's body laying on the floor, saw the cut across his neck. The cowardice I'd felt before, compounded. Tadpole spoke to the room. She wanted a confession, or even just an explanation. It goes without saying that nobody was willing to offer one. Really, that's the end of it. After that, several things happened very quickly. Cynthia became captain, decided to bring in a detective. You two arrived, and here we are.
That's everything for him. Let's see.
I wonder if Mariana would let us take a closer look at that pipe of hers.
It can't hurt to ask.
We'll do that later. I want to see. There's two more rooms you can go to, right? Go to them. So this is this is pretty cool.
Old glass bottles.
Looks like they've all been salvaged from the ocean.
Hey, this one has a message inside.
It can be, yeah. I haven't been to one in a long time. But yeah. I haven't been there in a while. Okay, it's almost 10 now. So I'm actually going to end it right here. Got like a minute left. I will collect everything I need here. I think what I'm going to do, before I talk to anyone else, the next time I play this game, I'm going to click on everything I can in the areas that I can. And then, and only then, I will talk to everyone. So that way I can, I'll go through the others and go through all the details with them. Have that figured out. Anyways. A good stream. Sorry that I was a little late, but that's not unusual for me. Anyway, it's time for this episode of the Interdimensional Show, live at the Wandering Weasels Armament Theater to end for tonight. Thank you all for coming. I will see you all again on Friday. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, wonderful rest of the afternoon, wonderful rest of the evening. Whatever it is, have a good one. See you next time. Bye-bye.